We were young and we were revolutionaries, you see? Now we're old and we're revolutionaries. Even more revolutionary than the youngsters, okay? And I'm very proud of it. And, you know, because the whole 20th century was devoted to the cult of youth. So because we believed in the revolution, we believed that we need revolution. We need a big change. And American art after the World War II, the leaders of this art were the Trotskyites, and they were talking about a permanent revolution. We need to shock the public. We need to change every time, you know. Every new show and every new thing should be new. And only the youngsters can deliver. They're wrong, because, you know, traditionally, again, Jesus. Traditionally it was different. This is the work of Titian, okay? And it's his latest work, the last work. And he died in his 90s, maybe he was 100, nobody really knows for sure. And this is a flaying of Marsyas. You see, they skinned the guy. So he has this, before that, okay, wrong. Jesus Christ. Okay, before that he painted very beautiful women. You see the evolution from very realistic to very modern by our standards. The same happened to this great artist who is Michelangelo. He started like that and continued like that. So a real deterioration of mind, you know, leads you to modernity. And modern art is the art of the feeble minds, okay? Either where you're very young or very old. Nothing in between. You see, Michelangelo, come on, guys. And you see deterioration goes on and on. This is a nice lady. Not as nice as the previous ones, but then the end. The guy was totally senile, but you know, and that's what he does. And this looks really more modern and better, let's say. And it's very important, because now there's a show of late Matisse at the Museum of Modern Art, and the critics are raving about this. Absolutely raving. That's the greatest show on earth.
Alex had this idea that I really loved, which happens every 10 minutes with Alex. This particular one was, what we really need is a form of redress, because there's all these awards that go to young painters, for example, like emerging artists. And he said, none of this 30 under 30 bullshit. What we need is 80 over 80. And quite seriously, because a lot of Alex's jokes are serious, what he tries to do is find a way to turn these sort of real, like getting a job as an art therapist at a hospital in Queens just because he had the idea of curing people's elbow pains by projecting Van Gogh paintings onto the elbow. So in this case, what was going to happen, the idea was to set up shows of work by people of a certain age and older. And let that be a way of understanding the work that had been undervalued. Like Picasso's late work was ignored for many, many years. You know, now people looking and goes, oh, surprise, he's dealing with sex and death. That's interesting. So it's changed. But the goal was to have prizes for artists before they submerge rather than emerging artists, and see what people are making as they move on in their concerns.
One of the things you left out that's crucial to cartoonists, and crucial to every cartoonist that I know who's worth being called a cartoonist, we are all crazy. It is something somewhat mad about somebody who pursues this field from being a kid, and you know, when you're encouraged, when you're discouraged, when things are up, when things are down. It's the friend of many of us here who are in the business, Erwin Hazen, who is now an older master than I am, 90-something. And Erwin and I would regularly go to the Café des Artistes bar, and we'd start drinking scotches and talking, of course, about the business and ourselves and his past and mine and all of that. And at a certain point in the evening, he looked at me, semi-tears in his eyes, and say, "I can't believe I got away with it." And I said, "Erwin, that's what we all say." That we all got away with it, because you got away with doing what you love to do and what you have loved to do all of your life when you were a kid and you were supposed to grow out of it. What it's not what grown-ups do. I mean, if you see kindergarten, if you go to kindergarten classes, the art on the wall of public school, you see when a kid is 4, 5 years old, 6 years old, you see some wonderful stuff on the walls, and they're free and they're alive and they're wonderful. And then you go to the second grade and the third grade, and it's less interesting and less wonderful because they've begun to be taught, and not just taught by teachers, or family. But they themselves become, they lose their inner need and the inner confidence that they had, and they begin to look at the other kids, and they begin to imitate their betters. And one of the things that I said many years ago is that it took me maybe 35 years as an adult to get back to being as good as I was at 7.